Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are you all doing on this Wednesday morning? This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. It is the 25th of June 2025 at 8 a.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. If you're on Twitch, please hit that follow button and bell notification icon to be notified when I go live. And if you're on YouTube, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button on there too. Good morning, Satru Hershey, and anybody else lurking in the chat. How are you doing? I hope you're all doing well. Oh, God. All of a sudden, just got on a massive reflux in front of me. Guys, we'll look at the daily local weather. We're going to look at daily quota, and I want to cover a very important news story in America. Something I've been looking at for quite a while. A big news out of the US. And I'm probably going to get some more stories on this later on tonight's Snowflake Watch because it's worth talking about as well. As we'll talk about another seaside town result that I've been to as well. We'll talk a bit about that. Then we will cover the UK news. So let's jump straight into the weather first and foremost. Good morning, Alison Keir. Hope you are doing well, my friend. So today, at the moment, it is 18 degrees down here in London. It is expected to be cloudy all day. There was a possibility of showers, it did say yesterday on the weather app, but it doesn't appear to be on the record that there will be any showers. But that doesn't mean to say that there is always a possibility. There is always a possibility that showers could tend to happen, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen today. From here in London anyway. So temperatures are expected to reach as high as 26 degrees, cloudy all day. No sunshine really breaking through here. That's pretty much it for the local weather here. Tomorrow is a 45% chance of rain. They're forecasting 25 degrees, the highest temperature there. Friday, cloudy with some sunshine, as high as 26 degrees on Friday. And I've mentioned this already, but Saturday, the weekend is going to be much warmer. Not 30, but close to it. Saturday, 28 degrees, expected to be cloudy all day. And Sunday, a booming 29 degrees with sun expected to come out. But this is, of course, again, as I stress, this is what London is reporting. So that is your local weather for today here. Today's daily calendar quote, of course, is on the 25th of November. There it is there just for reference. From Renee Peterson Trudeau. And it is, nourishing yourself is not selfish. It's essential to your survival and your well-being. Nourishing yourself is not selfish. It's essential to your survival and your well-being, guys. That is today's calendar quote. Tomorrow's one is from Frederick Neil, a very simple one, and you'll just have to wait till tomorrow to see it. Because that's what we do, guys. If you want to see the daily calendar quote, you have to be here nice and early to hear the daily calendar quote. Alternatively, if you can't be here, then do follow me on my social medias, or follow me or come and join our Discord community, and you can check out the daily quota that I post there just for reference. So I don't want to spend too much time on. I do want to spend a little bit of time on the big news over in New York City, but first, let's have a look. Talk about one seaside town. Another seaside town that I've been to. I really like this one for a number of reasons. And I'll say, if someone has been here too, you will probably understand why as well, guys. We're talking about Bournemouth. Bournemouth, what a great, really nice place. I just want to show you some pictures. Like, it has one of the most loveliest beaches in the UK. I really do. It's a very, very popular destination to go to. It's quite easy to go to, especially if you're in central London. You can get the train from London Waterloo that takes you from London to Waterloo via Southwestern trains. Can take you all the way to Bournemouth. I remember there are days where it can be very, very busy on the trains. And obviously during this period, obviously it'll be doing very, very well for itself. Bournemouth, it has great pier, lots of things to do around Bournemouth. And obviously, as I said, the beach is a fabulous thing. But there is so much more to Bournemouth than just the beach, guys. So Bournemouth is a coastal resort town in the Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole Utility Authority area in the ceremonial county of Dorset. Oh, God. I think I might need to take some Gaviscon today. It's really all over the place with my reflux today. Oof. And now I've got something in my eye. Ah, not a good start. So it's on the south coast of England at the 2021 consensus. The build-up area has a population of 196,000, making it the largest town in Dorset. Previously an uninhabited heathland visited only by fishermen and occasional smugglers. A health resort was founded in the area by Lewis Tringale in 1810. So it's only a couple of centuries old. After the Ringwood, Christchurch and Bournemouth Railway opened in 1817, Bournemouth grew into an important seaside, important resort town, which today attracts over 5 million visitors annually for its coastline and nightlife. Yes, it has a nightlife as well, guys. The town is a population in the southeast Dorset contribution, which is known for its 7-stretch mile of golden sands. Yeah, very good, very nice beaches, as I stress. With well-known spots including Alun Beach, Durichan Beach and Bournemouth Central Beach. The shoreline continues westwards and gradually merges into the affluent Sandbank Arena and Pool. Alongside tourism, financial services now plays a significant role in the local economy. Yeah, so they obviously have some good politicians, councillors and local authorities who work in this town as well. The town centre is notable for its Victorian architecture. St Peter's Church features a 202-foot spire and is one of 3 graded eyeless churches in the borough. The town has an events venue and a concert hall, the Bournemouth International Centre and Pavilion Theatre respectively. Bournemouth is also home to the Premier League football club AFC Bournemouth. Are they still in the Premier League? I'm not sure about that. And to Bournemouth University, which has a growing reputation in fields such as media, business and health. History. Yeah, that's really. Let me just see. Just wanted to find specifically. I'll have a look at the the arrival of the railways in the 1870 predates a massive growth in the seaside summer visits to the town. Yeah, so as soon as the railway opened up, apparently that's when an influx came in there. You can see there's a nice picture there in the 1890s. It's quite small from your guys, but you can see it there. Seaside summer visits to the town, especially from the Midlands and London in the 1880s. The town had a population of 17,000, but by 1900, when railway connections to Bournemouth were at their most developed, the town's population had risen to 60,000. It had become a favourite location for visiting artists and writers. The town has improved greatly during this period through the efforts of Sir Merton Russell Coase, the town's mayor and local philanthropist, who helped to establish the town's first library and museum. The Russell Coase Art Gallery and Museum was housed in this mansion after his death and was given to the town. Bournemouth became a multilateral borough in 1890 and county borough in the 1900s. Yeah, governance, just kind of curious. There is one tier of local governance covered in Bournemouth, the utility authority named Borough of Christchurch and Poole Council, which is based at Civic Centre, formerly known as Bournemouth Town on Hall. Interesting. Bournemouth was represented by 2 parliamentary constituents in the House of Commons, Bournemouth East and Bournemouth West. In the 2024 general election, it was gained by Labour by Tom Hayes with 40.8% of the vote, and the latter was also gained for Labour by Jessica Toll with 36.4%. Both had previously been considered Conservative safe seats. In 2022, both of the town's Conservative MPs, Conor Burns and Tobias Elwood, had their withdrawn forces and sit as independents. Yep. Yeah, that's not good. They were both former Conservative ones there. I'm just seeing if there's any other. There's culture. Just thinking if there's anything else really to cover here. Landmarks. I was just saying this St. Peter's completed in 1879. Very nice. Look at that nice spire there. Beautiful. Of course, the football club. It's come a long way, Bournemouth, as a football club. Like, literally, just a couple of years ago, nobody would have noticed it. Yeah, as I said, South Western Railway. It's got the main rail line that serves the town. Folkestone also serves as eastern suburbs, and Branxton to the west. All 3 stations lie on the southwest main line between Weymouth and London Waterloo. Weymouth's a great one to cover. I think Weymouth's a good one to cover as well, guys. Yeah, South Western Railway operates it. They're not very good, but hopefully when they become nationalised, it will be a lot better there. But Bournemouth is a wonderful, wonderful place to go to. As I said, the like to make it bigger for you guys. I mean, it's really is a great place. Any of you guys here in the chat, have you guys been to Bournemouth? Let me know down in the comments below if you guys been to it, or I do. Oh my God, I've still got something stuck in my eye. What is going on today? What is going on today? What a lovely look at that! Look at that beach. Absolutely beautiful. The pier's not too bad as well. You can go on the pier. I think it's free because some piers are actually they charge you as well, which is also could be quite annoying here as well. But yeah, plenty to do. It is pretty much essentially one of the best seaside towns in England, in my opinion. Very well looked after. Very popular destination. Got some fair share of walks around as well, and of course you have the famous football club as well there. Yeah, that's all right. I remember this. Yeah, so you walk up along the pier and they got all this funfair stuff here as well. Funfair stuff here on the pier as well. So Bournemouth definitely definitely worth checking out, guys, if you ever fancy coming down to the south coast. I've always covered quite a few now already. But yeah, I think Weymouth will be another next one we'll probably cover tomorrow. Because yeah, Bournemouth really is a beautiful one there, guys. I hope you guys liked that one. Very, very good there. Why are we looking at Bournemouth? I've been showcasing lots of seaside towns over the past couple of days, one a day, and Bournemouth was today's one. Tomorrow, I think I might do Weymouth. Tomorrow. Well, I'd love to go there. The vintage looks very beautiful. Looking buildings, very beautiful. Yeah, they have some lovely buildings. Absolutely, really, really do. Do you know what else is really lovely, guys? Hope. You see, before I come to this story, considering that Donald Trump became president, considering that things are not going the way that they're going right now in the UK in terms of politics and the changes that you guys want, it seems like that there are some battles that it feels like that you just cannot win. And this battle last night, this news last night, is a reminder that we can win if we try. Zoltan Mandami declares in a historic victory in New York City mayoral primary after Andrew Cuomo concedes. Tonight is the night, says the ex-governor, as progressive states representatives tell supporters we made history. This is the best thing that will ever happen to New York City. They have New York City, the amount of people. This guy had no chance when he started his campaign, okay? When the candidates were made and Cuomo entered the race, he was a shoehorn. He was a guarantor to win. It was all guaranteed to be Cuomo. But time after time after time, this guy he made it count. He had good and decent policies. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of candidates and a lot of politicians around the world always have good progressive politics. Politics that will make lives better. But it's about turning that transaction and putting it into the minds of people. And it is getting out there, getting volunteers out there, building up that campaign to promote you in the right way. This guy did so much social media. It is off the charts, the amount of social media this man did. This guy had over 28,000 volunteers. 28,000 volunteers. And think about, London and New York's roughly around about the same size, sort of, if not bigger than New York City. Like 28,000, I think it was, volunteers. Like, that's how big of a support this guy was getting over time. Like, his funding was not by any, his funding came from people investing in him, donations, backing his campaign. Whereas Cuomo had, the mega rich corporations, the usual lobbyists in his pocket. Cuomo was a crook. He's a charlatan. He was the reason that people died in New York City during the COVID pandemic. Mandami is a clean person. He has a clean record. Yeah, he obviously is going to be new to the job. That's no question. But that's why you put experience. You get people around you to help you understand the job. And that's what he will do. But he has managed to convince, against the odds, he has managed to do this impossible. And I do say it's impossible because it was a very difficult challenge because there was so many roadblocks in front of this man. Not to mention the fact that this man, as you can tell, is not a white man. as well. So you can imagine, obviously, him being a Muslim as well, how difficult of a challenge it was as well. But this should emphasize, guys, and I really, really want to put this out there. This shows you that if we want change, we can still do it. We can still overcome the odds, because nobody gave this man a chance when he first started. You know, I wasn't aware of this man until Vosh started covering him on these live streams. And to see this guy, to see some of his campaigns, to see some of the stuff that he has done, I could not be more happy for this, because this gives me hope, not just for America, but even hope here in the UK, that those who are trying to bring us down, those who are trying to say that Nigel Farage can become Prime Minister, that reform could gain power, this gives me hope that we can fight back, that we can defeat these people who intend to bring us harm. This should be a great eye-opener for a lot of people. Tonight is his night, says ex-governor, as a progressive states representative tells supporters, we made history. Zoltan Mandabi, a 33-year-old Democratic Socialist, appears to have declared, it's not official, but it's pretty, Cuomo's already conceded the race. Cleared the first hurdle on his path to becoming New York's first Muslim mayor, declaring victory in his city's Democratic primary on Tuesday night, although it could be days before the final result is known. In a stunning upset, Andrew Cuomo, who had been heavily favoured until recent weeks, conceded the race after it became clear the progressive upstart had built a substantial lead over the more experienced but scandal-scarred former governor. In a speech to supporters, Mandabi said, tonight we made history. I will be your Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York City, he said. After 93% of votes were counted in the primary first round, Mandabi, a state representative, had 43.5% of the vote. Cuomo was at 36.4%. That's huge. That's huge in the first round, because they have a first-past-the-post system. Speaking at a campaign rally, Cuomo said Mandabi had ran a really smart and good and impactful campaign. Tonight is his side. He deserved it. He won, Cuomo said. Yeah, you need to disappear, mate. New York City used a ranked choice voting system, as neither candidate is likely to reach 50%. The Board of Elections will now tally people's second choice candidates. Mandabi, who cross-endorsed with Brad Lander, a progressive who came third with 11.4% of the vote last week, is predicted to benefit more than Cuomo from his count. He thanked Lander in his speech, telling supporters, together we have shown the power of the politics and the future, one of partnership and sincerity. Mandabi's stunning rise will serve as a rebuck to the Democratic establishment and give hope to other progressives in the hopes to run in elections around the country. Cuomo was backed by deep-pocket donors and endorsed a wave of centrist figures, including Bill Clinton. But Mandabi benefited from a surge of grassroots support among young people in particular. Speaking on Tuesday night, Cuomo said he had called Mandabi to congratulate him. He put together a great campaign. He touched young people and inspired them and moved them to come out and vote. Cuomo said, I applaud him sincerely for his efforts. Cuomo told the New York Times that he may still run in the November mayoral elections as an independent. I want to analyse and talk to some colleagues, he said. But given the heavy Democratic makeup of New York City and the unpopularity of the incumbent Eric Adams, Mandabi will be favoured to become the New York's 11th mayor. So this is so far, guys, but obviously it's going to take some days before it comes in. But preliminary first round results in ranking choice votes, candidates must reach 50% of the vote to win. Pretty much you can see there 43.5% compared to Andrew Cuomo's 36.4%. A lot of people will vote for Mandabi as second in this as well. The other candidates, respectfully, Brad Lander, done pretty well for himself there. But yeah, he's gonna make the mark, guys. Mandabi's pretty a shoehorn to make it there, but you can see the other candidates there. But yeah, Mandabi 43.5% in the first round. That says a lot, guys. The race for New York mayor has been closely watched across the US in pitted two drastic different Democrats against one another. It offered a vision of what voters want from a party and a struggle to present a cohesive alternative to Donald Trump. Cuomo, the centrist and former governor, and Mandabi emerged as the front runner in the final weeks of the primary. Mandabi is closing the gap on Cuomo through an abundance of enthusiasm for young New York voters. Mandabi had hoped to benefit from the primary ranked first choice voting system, which allows voters to rank 5 candidates in order of preference. Cuomo, who was elected 3 terms as governor before resigning in disgrace amid accusations of sexual harassment, entered the race with the far superior name recognition, but at one point had a 30-point lead in the polling, but a survey released on Monday showed Mandabi winning the primary after multiple rounds of counting. Mandami ran on progressive platforms, promising to freeze rent and make buses free citywide. And his campaign was propelled by a social media following that dwarfs his rivals. He was endorsed by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and an event by thousands of people in June. And he has also won the backing of Bernie Sanders, the Vermont senator. Imagine that. Like, can you ever imagine going to New York City and then and you can get on the bus for free? Can you imagine how great that is? That's like, I'm not like, I cannot. Can you believe? That just boggles my mind. Cuomo was much less visible, in skewering large rallies for tightly managed appearances at union offices and other small venues. As the race narrows, his campaign and organisation backing him, some of which were funded by billionaires, Republican donors, focused almost exclusively on attacking Mondavi, spending millions of dollars on mailers and TV adverts. The New York Times reported that Cuomo had benefited from more than $25 million in outside spending in the primary Asiki record. This has been a historical, contentious race, Mondavi has said. Yeah, this is how desperate the millionaires and billionaires were to stop Mondavi from winning. This is how bad he was, because they are going to be, because if they are in New York City, the millionaires and billionaires are going to be, they're going to get taxed now. If you live in New York City and you're a wealthy person, you're going to be paying a bit more tax now under this guy. That's what he said. He said the wealthiest are going to pay their fair share of tax, and he's going to use that to fund a lot of his campaigns, which is how it should be done everywhere, guys. Which is how it should be done anywhere. We'll have a look. I will definitely want to have a look at some more videos later on tonight, guys, because this is definitely worth covering more. But yeah, Zoltan Mondami, congratulations to him. Honestly, I wasn't keen to jump on the bandwagon of he has to win it, he needs to win, like, sort of thing, because I was generally thinking that because it's American politics and how volatile it is, I didn't want to too much jump the horn on him winning. But man, oh man, it gives me great hope, guys. Sachi says, I prefer Mondami over the 22-year-old former grocery clerk in charge for the counter-terrorism. Good morning, Mithril. Hope you are doing well there. Right, let's go back to the UK, guys. So first story here from The Guardian. Starmer stands firm on the welfare bill as the number of Labour MPs rebels passes to 120. The party's big hitters, including Sadiq Khan, urged the Prime Minister to pause legislation as ministers and whips failed to contain the rebellion. It's not enough, and it's gotten worse, guys, in this as we approach the welfare bill approach. It seems that the Conservatives are willing to back the government on this, which is more infuriating, especially when the Conservatives have over 100 MPs. We need more Labour MPs to rebel, because it's not going to be enough. I still think it's going to be you need to have more than 200. 200. You need to at least half the party to be against this, and there's just not enough of them right now. Because the Conservatives I think the Conservatives either way are going to back this bill, because they want to see benefit cuts. This needs to be defeated, this welfare bill. This needs to be defeated. You know, you'll get your votes from the I'm hoping the Lib Dems are against this. I don't know if they are. But it could be game changing. The fact that Kemi Bagnall and the Conservatives could back it as well, but because they're in favour of this kind of stuff, unfortunately. Keir Starmer said the government will stand firm on its welfare plans as ministers and party whip struggled to contain a growing Labour rebellion before next week's vote. By Tuesday night, the tally rebels are stood at 123 Labour MPs, up from 108 plus 11 from opposition parties, all from Northern Ireland, and as Labour heavy hitters wade into the row. There are fears inside government that this number would rise and scupper Starmer's chances of changes to benefits. The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, was among those urging the Prime Minister to drop his plans, warning that they would destroy the financial safety net for millions of people, and they will. While cabinet ministers were deployed to win over Labour rebels, some whips and government aides were accused by MPs of threatening deselection and suggesting a defeat could blow up the government, and Number 10 denies the claim. The Labour rebels, including senior committee chairs, have tabled an amendment calling for the government to pause the legislation and bring forward the promised £1 billion to get more people into work first. If ministers do not agree, they will try to vote down the bill. This is the problem is, right? The problem with this, and I'm all for helping people get back into work, to get off benefits, to get off their backsides per se, and help them get into work, right? I'm all for that. I'm pretty sure everybody's all for that. However, there's a lot of people who cannot do that. There are some people who cannot work, cannot contribute, unless they're getting the entitlements. So what? And they're changing the way the PIP, where you can qualify for PIP as well. Which means that those who are on the disabilities will be even more difficult for them to claim them. And it is given so much unnecessary stress and anxiety over this. I really hope that that this gets defeated, because if this passes, it will be much, much harder in the future for people to claim entitlements. And this will increase poverty as well in doing so. This is going to increase poverty. The scale of the Republican appears to take down the street even some of the Labour backbenchers by surprise, amid concerns that thousands of vulnerable people could be plunged into poverty as a result of losing their disability benefits. However, he said on Thursday that he would press ahead with the overhaul, insisting that there was a clear moral case for change. It is more important than ever that if you, like me, are in a Labour constituency, write letters, send email, pressure your MP. It's really, really important that we pressure the MPs for the change we need, guys. Speaking on his way to the NATO summit in The Hague, the Prime Minister defended his plans to tighten the eligibility criteria for personal independent PIP. There is a clear moral case, which is the current system doesn't help those who want to get into work, he said. It traps people. I think 1,000 people a day going on to PIP. The additions into PIP this year are the equivalent of the size of the city, the size of Leicester. That is not a system that can be left unreformed. I want to make this very, very clear. I agree with the Prime Minister that reforms need to be made to the system. I 100% agree with him that we need to make reforms to the system. However, there are this idea that there is a massive amount of people who are literally sitting at home doing absolutely nothing with their lives. It's not true. There is a number of people out there, but it's not a massive number. It's a minority. It is a minority of people who are doing that. We're talking about the majority of people who physically are unable to do any jobs. And rather than us investing, because that's what we need to be doing, investing in helping getting them to work, helping them get to work and find ways that we can help them get into some kind of work, whether it's behind a computer or if there's other means that we can do to help them find work so that they don't have to be on entitlements. That's where we should be looking at the most. I want to make this also very, very clear. There is absolutely no way that you can stop the welfare bill from going up, no matter what they do. They can make it difficult as much as they want to, but it's still going to be people there. Have you watched the new Adam Curtis series? I have not, Matt Parker. Good morning. Good to see you there. I can't make a cup of tea without having to stop for breath, and yet the job centre wants me to work in a warehouse regularly. There's working and there's death by work. And Max Robespierre talked about this last night about how important it is. The welfare is supposed to be there for you, not telling you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be claiming any kind of entitlements. They should be trying to find work that will be beneficial to you, that would be suitable to you, not just throwing any jobs at you to say, oh, we really need to try and get you off PIP. And there should be okay, these are the kind of jobs that I want to look for. Can you help me find these kind of jobs? These are the ones that I think I could possibly do. And they should be trying to help you do that instead of just throwing any willy-nilly job that's available. Hey, why don't you go and just do this job? No, it's just no, there's a severe lack of humanity and communication when it comes between the job centre and you there. Thank you, Alistair Keir, for the £5 super chat just to get it started. All how the Democratic Penguins Republic. Yeah, thank you so much for that £5 super chat. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mithril, that they just say to you, just go work in a warehouse or something like that. And obviously, I don't know directly what the conversations you have with them, but yeah, it's not right. Liz, and remember that these are politicians who are making these decisions. These politicians who are making these decisions, including the Prime Minister, they don't know what it's like for these people. And the thing is that I wish Angela Rayner would stand up a bit more on this issue as well. I really, really do. Matt Parker says, I used to live in Switzerland. The Swiss pay 75% of previous salaries to people on the dole for a year, plus free training to get them back into work. Very low unemployment numbers as a result. Yeah, there should not be, it should not be in any way, shape, or form any like, oh, you need to if you don't like the fact that they are offering free training to say, let's give you some options. What can we do to help you get back into work? Let's give you some training that maybe something that you might be suitable with. Okay, well, here you go. We'll give you okay, you like computing or IT. Well, why don't we give you a skill somewhere along there? Maybe you could be a web designer or maybe a caller or something like that. Maybe we could do something, set that up. Maybe that's something we can help you get into, so that if you cannot run, if you can't walk, if you can't do a physical job, maybe we can find you a job that requires you just sitting behind the computer then. Like, we can provide training for you along those things. This is what we should be doing. Treating, okay, you can't do these things. How can we help you? That's the way it should be done. Not, you're being a scrounger. You're sitting there. You're not doing anything with your life. The government and the job centre have the wrong mentality when it comes to this. The wrong mentality. We treat unemployment as a punishment. Yeah, it's absolutely. Right, I'm going to cover... I had more to cover, to be fair, but I'm going to, based on the time, I'm just going to cover one more story, guys, here. The post office scandal. The government has not done enough to ensure compensation for victims. A committee of MPs have fined. So, many current and former postmasters affected by the Horizon IT failings and associated miscarriage of justice are not yet receiving fair and timely compensation, according to a report by the Public Accounts Committee. This is very annoying. I think it's a good word to describe this. Like the money has been set aside by the government at the budget to ensure that they could put this to bed. And my intention was, and my hope was, is that this was going to be put to bed. I do accept, from the government's perspective, that it takes time for compensation to get out, because it's not something that can be rushed. I do accept that, because they have to look at every single individual case by case on this. But obviously, if the compensation is not fair or not enough, then it's definitely very problematic. So the government has not done enough to ensure all victims entitled to compensation from the postmaster scandal have applied for it, a report has found. Okay, that's a big problem. Many current and former postmasters affected by Horizon IT failings and associated miscarriages of justice have not yet received fair and timely compensation, according to a report by the Public Accounts Committee. Like I said, it's going to take time. So only 21% of the 18,500 letters to the post office sent to postmasters to make them aware of the Horizon shortfall scheme has been responded to. Figures provided by the Department of Business and Trade, DBT, show about 5,000 further letters are expected to be sent in 2025. So under the scheme, current and former postmasters who were financially affected by the Horizon IT system, but who were either not convicted or did not take the post office to the High Court, can either settle their claim for a final fixed sum of $75,000 or have it fully assessed. There is also the Horizon Conviction Redress Scheme, which is for sub-postmasters who had convictions squashed after their passing of the Home Office Horizon System Offensive Act last year. The 800 or so-called sub-postmasters who are eligible to claim under the HCRS are entitled to a $600,000 full and final settlement, or the option to pursue a full claim assessment. By the end of March, 339 had accepted the settlement sum, the report by PAC, which is made up of MPs from all sides of the House of Commons, found. But the PAC report states that the government has no plans to follow up with people who are or may be eligible to claim but are yet to apply. This is, while I understand, telling the government to they need to be doing this, all the organisations behind the sub-postmasters and the schemes who have been fighting for these campaigns, I do have to throw a bit of shade on them, saying that they need to help the government here in making the noise heard, saying, hey, you need to claim your entitlement, sort of thing. It's not just enough telling the government to do it, because the government will not be keen to dish out free money to people, because that's how some governments will see it. It's not free money, it's compensation that they're entitled to, but it's not just enough for telling the government, hey, you need to be doing this. The committee recommends that the DPP should outline what more it can do to ensure affected postmasters is fully aware of the options for claiming. A third scheme provides compensation for sub-postmasters who are wrongly convicted for fraud, theft and false accounting. Of the 111 sub-postmasters eligible for the claim overturned conviction scheme, who are either entitled to a $600,000 full and final settlement or to pursue a full claim assessment, 25 have not yet submitted a claim, some of whom represent the most complex cases. That's very problematic. The DTP has taken over the management of the scheme from the Post Office, and the PAC reports committee recommends the department should outline how it plans to handle the remaining cases under the scheme. Yeah, my biggest concern is, of course, is that not enough people are talking and not enough people are aware of this situation. That's a big problem there. I'm signed off. Trust me, it ain't some kind of holiday, said Ellie. Nope, it is not. No, I've heard enough stories to know it's not. I've actually had someone try to tell me to claim entitlements, that I could claim entitlements just because I'm not working and my only income is from YouTube and Patreon. And I said no, I don't really want to go through that, because they'll be pushing, encouraging me to go back to work, and if I want to go back to work, I want to do it when I'm ready to do so. But I'm content here, and as long as family are content here, I'm okay. It's up to government and officials to contact the postmasters. They did this, and they must be held accountable. Yeah, but pressuring them to do so is another thing. That's where the communities of them need to step in on the matter to keep the pressure on the government, because it's all well and good saying it in a report, but the government's telling it is another thing. It needs to come from the organisations around it. I agree. The government should be the ones doing this. I agree. But are they going to actually do it? Keep on it? I doubt that. Right, let's have a look at some of the stories and news that's going on in the UK. We'll start with The Guardian here. Tory peer Liam Booth Smith takes job at AI firm he encountered in number 10. Class are no longer the main dividing lines in UK politics, survey shows. Nearly 100,000 adults in England denied state-funded social care due to cuts. What are we doing with social care? Liberal Democrats have been screaming about this all the time. Sorry, I've got a bit of reflux. I'm going to have to take some Gaviscon as soon as this live stream ends. What are we doing with social care? Starmer stands firm on welfare bills as a number of levels pass. We talked about that already. Starmer to give missiles to Ukraine paid for with £70 million interest on Russian assets. Interesting. UK group Palestine Action denies Iran's funding as it faces ban. Funding by Iran? Jesus, where's that accusation come from? Oh, feck off. The Guardian want to charge me. No, I'm not. Wow, are you guys really going to do this to me? Okay, fine. We'll have to leave the Guardian there, guys. Unfortunately, they want me to take all their cookies. They can go F themselves. One more step to get the goal done. Thank you, Alistair, here for the £2 super chat. Yeah, sorry guys, we'll have to leave the Guardian there because they won't stop harassing me there. Under politics here, under Sky News, UK to buy F-35 stealth jets so that they can carry US nuclear warheads. UK must actively prepare for potential war in the homeland. Excuse me. What war? We're not going to war. Who's attacking us? Government will announce which parts of the UK will get extra NHS funding. Foreign prisoners to be deployed earlier under new plans. We kind of heard about that a bit anyway. Baganoff offers to help Prime Minister defeat Labour's welfare rebellion on free conditions. So what's the free conditions then? I'm just making it very clear to Keir Starmer that if he makes a commitment at the dispatch box to meet our conditions to reduce the welfare budget to get people into work and not having to raise taxes, then we can support the bill. The bill's a bit of a mess. It needs some work. It looks like it's been rushed for Rachel Reeves to fix our problems, but they've got. But our welfare budget is far too high and we need to bring it down. It's not going down. You're not bringing it down. This welfare bill is not going down. It's only going to go up. all you're going to do is either two things are going to happen. Either this welfare bill is going to go up or homelessness is going to increase. What's the other thing she said? She said there's three things. So what's the third thing? She doesn't say. The least you could do is tell us in the article. Starting to fine over welfare cuts as London Mayor hits out proposals. Yep. Analysis pieces there. Let's have a look. I got signed off on SSP end 2012, says Ellie. DWP in 2014. I regressed over time on SEA support groups. Migration letter here. If they change threshold, I'm done for. I can't go out in public and call equals stress. I'm so sorry to read that, Ellie. I'm really, really sorry. DWP have been fair to me. I fear this. I've been fair to me. I fear this change. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you've got somebody who's been a bit more understandable in your situation, that's good. But yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, please try and take care of yourselves as best you possibly can. I know I don't know what I can say to make it feel better, but just so you know, you're not alone. You're not the only person out there who's struggling. Okay, don't think you're the only one who's in this situation. There's lots of people as well who are in your situation. Under UK, more Britons than ever struggling to make ends meet, report finds. Again, cost of living crisis. Defence was also a key thing for a report. Research found about 40% of Britain's support spending more. Research found about 40% of Britain's support spending more money on weapons and troops. More people than ever struggling to live on their current income, with just a third living comfortably, according to new research. Rising prices and sluggish pay increases put more people in financial. 26% says it's difficult. Before the pandemic, it was a dull. UK inflation was 16%. Two-thirds says that their incomes haven't kept up with inflation, according to the British Social Attitudes Report. That's only marginally better than the 70% recorded during the height of the cost of living crisis in 2023. Frozen tax thresholds also appear to be hitting home, with 61% saying taxes on lower earners are too high, while 44% believe middle incomers also pay too much. The figures are up 9 points and 13 points respectively since 2016. However, when it comes to higher earners, 44% believe taxes are too low. The report asks people about their welfare system, a timely insight. Labour's current rebellion. It found support for spending more on disability benefits is at a record low of 45%, down from 67% in 2017, but only 11% think spending should be reduced. About 29% of those polled think it's too easy for people to get disability benefits. You morons! You're morons! Like, do the research. Just do the research. It's not easy. It's not easy for claiming entitlements. God, I wish people would stop buying into this and just do the research. Like, don't take my word for it. You've got literally Google in front of you. There are hundreds of stories of people out there who tell you what they have to go through to claim PIP. It's not too easy. It's very, very difficult for people. Good morning, Stephen McMorgan. Thank you for so much for the $5 zillion, or should I say, good evening where you are, my friend. Thank you so much. That's very generous of you. Ginger Lefty, good morning to you too. Yeah, it's I feel for Ellie too. It's 29%, absolutely ridiculous. But the same percentage also feel it's too difficult. That's good. So we do have some common sense people, because especially with people who actually went through the process, people who go through the process and then talk about it, telling other people, that's the problem. Where you have the right wing, where you have politicians saying how easy it is, they listen to politicians. But if you know somebody or connections with groups and whatnot, and see stories of how people are actually trying to claim the entitlements, is a different matter. Meanwhile, longer waits appear to have played a part in the findings. They record 59% now dissatisfied with the NHS. In 2019, it was just 25%. Only 21% they were satisfied with the health service. The report, based on representative random samples of more than 4,000 people in the UK, and that was produced by the National Centre for Social Research. It's the longest running measure of public opinion in Britain, having started since in 1983. Suppressor John Curtis, Senior Research Fellow, said, "I'm good. The public are well aware of Britain's problems, not least of those who are for failing health service and an economy which make many are struggling to make ends meet. Yet rather than turning their back on the state, for the most part, the public are still inclined to look to the government to provide solutions." Yeah, this is the thing. This is what the likes of Reform and their masters want them to do. They want people to turn their back on the state. They want them to turn towards private investment. This is what they want. This is what they want. These videos are really worth. I really need to watch those videos. I'm going to save those videos. I want to watch those videos. They're going to be important. Oh, thank you again, Steve McMahon, for another $5 New Zealand dollars. That's very generous of you. Thank you. People have been reading the newspapers craps that they put out about this. Yeah, because the papers are not telling them the full picture. They're only painting a partial picture. That's the problem, my friend. Alistair, you're absolutely right. They're only painting a picture. Thank you so much for the £5 super chat as well to help reach today's goal. Thank you, and Steve Morn, thank you both for your support. You guys have been very generous this week. Honestly, thank you. I really appreciate it, you guys. Let's keep going because we haven't got a lot of time and there's a lot to go through. Thank you, guys. PM vows to press on with the welfare cuts as rebellion grows. This is BBC. UK to purchase nuclear carrying fighter jets. UK must prepare to go to war scenario. Government has been warned. Warfare rebellion to test Starmer like never before. International law at heart, Starmer's foreign policy, says Hermia. Oh, by the way, if you hear like a tweeting bird in the background, it's because I've got the window open. Some birds are nesting. I think some birds are nesting in the tree out in our garden. MP who was raped gets back in over law changed. National inquiry announced after maternity failings. Good. UK backs US goals, but it's not its methods on Iran. UK prepared to defend interests in Middle East, Lamy says. Let's have a quick look at the front of UK. I paid £15,000 for IMF, and then the custody clinic went bust. Oh my god. More people buying electric cars and heat pumps than ever before. Good. That's a good story. Watchdog acted irrationally over gender clinics, court told. Prison officer shot in revenge plot, jury told. It's absolutely my condolences. British man charged over wedding with a child. Charged with wedding with child at 9 at Disneyland Paris. What? Sorry, I've got to see this story. What is this? A British man has been charged in connection with organising a mock wedding of a 9-year-old Ukrainian girl in Disneyland Paris. French prosecutors said the 39-year-old man was convicted of sexual offenders who is wanted in the UK. His name has not been made public. He was arrested when police were called to the amusement park on Saturday morning at dawn by a guest who said he had been hired by a man to play the father of the bride. The man said to have been paid €12,000 to play the role, that he had only realised at the last minute that the bride was a child, according to a statement by Mex prosecutor Jean-Baptiste Bladier. The statement also said that the Ukrainian girl who arrived in France 2 days earlier had not been a victim of either physical or sexual violence and had not been forced to play the role of bride. A woman who said she was hired to play the role of the guest told the BFM TV that when she arrived at Disneyland Paris, she saw a little girl dressed in white and hair or makeup and saw the woman picked her up in her arms and was shocked. I burst into tears. When I saw it was a child, I was horrific. Around 100 French extras had been recruited to take part in the fake ceremony, which was to be filmed in a private capacity. The British man had reportedly hired Disneyland Paris for several hours for the stunt, in which he was to play the role of the groom. Preliminary findings stated that he had allegedly been made up professionally so that his face appeared totally different from his own, according to the prosecutor. Jesus Christ. 3 other people, including the 41-year-old mother of the girl, a 24-year-old old Latvian woman who was to play the bride's sister, and a 55-year-old Latvian man, were also arrested. By Tuesday, only the British man was still being held by police. What the hell? 9-year-old Ukrainian girl. God. She's been manipulated. She's been manipulated here. She's been manipulated. My God. What a shocking story. Oh, I just don't know what to say about that. UK aircraft carrier in Indo-Pacific on a rare development. This story just boggles my mind. Absolutely insane, guys. Right, let's switch gears to the Independent here. Still got quite a few headlines to have a look at, so let's just keep going. My God, that was an insane story. Bagnote offers to stay Starmer's welfare reforms as Labour MPs rebel. Number of Brits who see the US as a threat doubles since Trump's election. Starmer vows to press on welfare reforms. Government dangerously flat-footed in recovering COVID loan losses. Yeah, I'm not hearing a lot about that. The PM leaves door open for tax raises to fund a rise in defence spending. UK to buy new fighter jets. We talked about that already. UK calls China a major challenge, but an essential economic partner. Yep, find the balance between them. Balance is the word there. Balance between the two. Let's just have a quick look at the front of UK. Liddy issues urgent recall on popular kitchen item due to fire hazard. Investigations of sexual harassment in prison soars fourfold. Damn. Any other stories? Doge, big balls no longer work for the government report. That's US politics. Britain warned, brace for warns at a home major review. MAGA backlash against the Iran war turns into debate over US support for Israel. Trump blasts stupid AOC in low IQ rank, calling Schumer Palestine Senator. AOC put him in his box on Twitter. It's absolutely glorious to see. She was absolutely glorious to see. That's all from the Independent. Let's go to the iPaper. Is this politics? Yep, this is under politics. Good morning, Leapskin. Hope you're doing well. Starmer can't win over the country. New warning to Labour despite good economic plans. UK would drop US tactical nuclear weapon in war with Russians using new stealth jets. No, can we not use? Can we not? The way it says there, it almost implies that we're going to war with Russia. Back me or forget getting promoted. Starmer warning to welfare rebel MPs. Yeah, cut disability benefits, guys, so you can get promoted. Yeah, throw away your conscience in doing so. Prepare for war on British soil. Government warns on security plans for the UK. Rise of the zombie directors. 3,500 people running UK companies. Why the Ghost of Trust haunts Reeds. What it means for your mortgage and taxes. Yet we're still paying the price for that. People forget that. The English towns getting more NHS funding. Around 2.2 billion previously set aside to plug financial holes will now be spent on staff, medicine, new technology, and equipment. As long as it's not London. Summer can't win over the new country. How the government could make your electricity bills cheaper, but hasn't. How your holiday in Europe will change this autumn and what you need to know. UK, we talked about that already. Politics, we looked at that already. Send tribunals be cut back. Yeah, these are we've already seen those education stories there already. But my local MP are among the rebels. They're part of the Rebel Alliance. They're part of the Rebel Alliance. Okay. I'm feeling pretty meh, but I've not had coffee yet. You've not had coffee yet? Oh, you better have your coffee then, if that's the case. Just a quick reminder before we carry on, guys. 12 o'clock will be Prime Minister's Questions. 8 o'clock we'll have the Snowflake Watch. So I've got 2 live streams to come today. So if you can join me for either one of them, great. If you can't, that's totally fine. But I will be back again with another Good Morning show tomorrow at 8 a.m. just for reference as well, guys. Also, Graham Hughes with Morning Brew will be starting at 9 a.m. today. And at 10:30, Dave McGuinness, youtube.com/2Davies. He will have his show there. A reminder that tomorrow evening, myself, Daily Blase, All Shorts, and Jenny Random Scottish History will be having a Snowflake Roundtable. We'll talk about all sorts of things. Well, there's plenty to cover. I'm sure we'll talk about the Middle East. We'll talk about the welfare changes that are coming by the government as well, among other things. So do join us for that show if you can. Financial Times here, rise in aviation emissions threaten UK climate targets. Official advisors warn. Most Britons view US as a security threat after Trump's election. UK graduate job opening lowest since 2018. Starmer faces growing rebellion. Talked about that already. Bank of England's Bailey warns on UK productivity and a challenge to Reeves. China's working to undermine UK democracy, British government says. Let's just have a look at the homepage here, see what the homepage is saying. Trump's wavering on NATO defence. Packed cast piles over summit. How oil traders called the Middle East. Zoltan Mandami stuns Democratic establishment in the New York mayoral race. We'll talk a bit. I want to find some clips for that tonight, guys. I do want to talk about that more. So happy about that. So happy about that. Gives us hope. Gives us hope. Crypto coin for Russian shadow payment moves $9 billion. Wow. $9 billion. UK to purchase US jets. UK strikes only delay Iran's nuclear progress intelligence program. Good morning, Careful. Thank you so much for the free euros. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. That's very generous of you. I hope you're doing well. For some reason, I can't click the like button. Why is it not letting me click the like button? How dare you, computer, not let me click the like button? Ah, there you go. See, I have to go to the computer because for some reason on the phone it didn't want me to click it. Thank you for that. It's very generous of you. Campaigners push back against Apple's takeover of the dashboard, while managers gear up to put UK savings into private assets. Israel stock surge to record highs during the war with Iran. That is the Financial Times. We've just got about 4 minutes left. Let's see if we can run through some of these other stories if we can. This is the Times. Under politics here, voters' trust in the government hits a record low. The cost of living crisis, dissatisfaction with the NHS, and the effects of Brexit undermine Britain's confidence in the system of government. Yep, this is why people are turning to the likes of reform. So Labour have got to win that back and show that. You know, people have got to feel, it's not just a case of putting more money in people's pockets. People have got to feel better off. The clock is ticking on this government. Starmer backs commission to tackle the roots of last summer riots. Tinderbox of disconnection and division threatens our democracy. How Labour leadership were blindsided by the scale of welfare rebellion. What did they expect? Like, it's not Labour are not supposed to be the party of cutting welfare, but that's exactly what this government wants to do. Starmer goes against the king by bringing forward Trump's full state visit. End of hotels for asylum seekers unrealistic, border chief says. Starmer hints at tax rises after next election to fund defence. Excuse me. Rachel Reeves warns welfare rebellion that could devastate the government. It could indeed. Let's just have a look at the top stories here. NHS doctors excited to go on strike again, says union leaders. Excited? I don't think that's the right word. I think that's exaggerated. That's the wrong message there. Starmer backs commission to tackle roots for last summer riots at Tinderbox. There, we talked about that. Drug kingpin found guilty of running cocaine operation from Dubai. Politics we looked at already. London, Peep Show, Coin Tower Block, Scotland. Some of these look like stories we've already covered. Andy Murray's to get a statue at Wimbledon. Okay. Public money at risk from failure to implement gender ruling. Right, let's go to Telegraph, the Tory graph, or the Reform graph. British jets to carry nuclear warheads. How the most terrifying night of Israel's war on Iran unfolded. Oh, and what about the Iranians? Do we have any sympathy for them? Eurostar passengers delayed for hours after fatalities on the track. Oh no, did people try to... Oh, migrants tried to walk the Eurotunnel again. Sadiq, well, they always keep trying. So Sadiq backs benefit rebels as Starmer threatens very serious consequences. Home Office spends 60,000 K on vans for surrendering ninja swords. Israel says campaign against Iran is not over. Mass assassinations on bunker buses in 12 days have reshaped the world. NATO chief praised extraordinary Trump in flaunting text message. Trump's Nobel Peace Prize nomination has been withdrawn. Apparently Pakistan have backed it, apparently. Nominated Trump, apparently. Fire near Amsterdam airport sparks fear of NATO summit sabotage. Macron said Trump's bombings have increased the risk of secret uranium enrichment. And the British philanthropy who married the 9-year-old girl at Disneyland, which we looked at earlier. Absolute. I still just cannot believe that story. That absolutely insane bloody story. Absolutely insane story. Quick look at buying times before we head out. 10 big questions the US airstrikes on Iran leave unanswered. No kings. Trump's military parade couldn't drown out America's tradition of protest. Cambridge University takes own professors to call for joining the pro-Palestine protest. From lawmakers' mishap to expensive scandals, the 10 refresh embarrassments for Reform UK. I covered that in a video if you want to check that out. And a couple of other stories here. That's all pretty good here from Barline Times there. A lot of them, some of them we've already seen already, but I always do recommend checking out Barline Times there, you guys. So just a quick reminder, Morning Brew will be starting now in any moment from Graham Hughes. Do check out Morning Brew with Graham Hughes. Dave McGuinness will be doing his paper review at 10:30 on his channel. Do go and support him if you can there. I will be going live at 12 o'clock today for Prime Minister's Questions. If you guys can join me for that, it'd be greatly appreciated. If not, that's fine. I will also be back tonight at 8 p.m. for the Snowflake Watch. We'll be looking at clips and videos, watching and reacting to a lot of things. I want to be looking at what happened in New York City with the mayoral race there. We'll be looking at if there's anything more to add about what's happened in the Middle East between Iran, Israel, and America there. And also, I'm sure there'll be some stuff to discuss as well in the UK. So plenty of things to cover tonight on the Snowflake Watch at 8 p.m. If you can join me for that, great. If not, that's totally fine. But I will also be back again tomorrow morning with another good morning show with your local weather report, your local daily quota, another seaside town to cover, as well as looking at the news outside the UK we'll be covering specifically. So thank you guys for all coming along. Thank you guys, Caffel, for your super chat. Thank you, Alistair Keir and Stephen Morgan, for your super chats as well. Very generous of you guys this morning. Have a wonderful day, whatever you guys are doing. Please stay hydrated. Please drink plenty of water. If you have pets, make sure they have plenty of water too. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope you catch you all very, very soon.